I'm a Southerner, first of all. As you know, I'm a former president of the NAACP in the city of Asheville, North Carolina. After I read some of the letters from my babies on how they were losing their First Amendment rights at the schoolhouse and how people were using implied immunity to stop them from wearing their little Dixie Outfitter t-shirts, a lot of them crying out to help from the Southern Legal Resource Center. And surprisingly for me, a great deal of those babies that were crying out for help were black babies. The whole institution of slavery has been blamed solely on Christian white folks in the South, and the whole world acted as though it didn't participate, and the whole world did participate. You know, black folks and white folks in the Southland of America, we've been family in lieu of slavery for a long time. For me, the victory didn't come with Marsh Lee over there at Appomattox Courthouse for those folks. In the hearts and minds of us, that thing still was there, the love for the Southland of America. So the only way, basically, that we could do this thing is to dumb down the people and grab black folks and divide and separate them down in the South. How are you going to separate Confederate history and Southern history from black folks? But they don't talk about Levi Carnine, Reverend Mac Lee, Hope Collier, John Edgerton. They don't talk about these folks because, I mean, these are black heroes who fought very bravely. Reverend Mac Lee said, bodyguard to Honorable General Robert E. Lee, he told his people, after he'd educated himself with the money that General Lee had given him, keep your faith in God, buy you some land, get yourself educated, and beyond all else, put your faith and trust in the white man in the South, no other, because he knew what was in the hearts and minds of Southern people. These folks talked about Nathan Bedford Forrest. Well, if it don't be for Nathan Bedford Forrest and that original Ku Klux Klan, I'm not talking about what happened after Nathan Bedford Forrest, many of us Southerners, red, yellow, black, and white, would be just like the dinosaur around here in the Southland of America, extinct. And people don't understand that. They just say Ku Klux Klan, and all of a sudden they gather these images of my flag and white men standing around beating and hanging and whipping black folks. Wrong, wrong, wrong. Thaddeus Stevens and his boys found out how successful that the Klan was at defending Southern folks, red, yellow, black, and white. So what did they do? They started sending their boys down here and dressing up like the Klan and committed terror in the South. And then all of a sudden, you know, Nathan Bedford Forrest understood this thing. He told his men, let's just come home. Let's go home and forget about this thing. And I'll tell you something. From all the accounts of what you do find, there was not a single man who looked like me that wouldn't have given his life for Nathan Bedford Forrest. Trained cadre of black folks on plantations all across the Southland of America, made all the implements of war, stayed at home, provided all the foodstuffs. Many went off to fight in the war gloriously. In the 77 cities that I marched through when I walked through Texas, there was not one town that somebody did not come with a black Confederate hero. When my great-great-grandmama Hattie Edgerton stood on those shores in 1788 on her way to the Honorable T.R. Edgerton family in Rutherford County, North Carolina, I'm so glad she didn't get left behind. Those Africans didn't like us then. They don't like us now. The only people that ever showed any love for us, those same white folks in those cotton fields and cornfields that we live side by side and call ourselves family. And I'm not here defending the institution of slavery, because slavery was bad when Jesus Christ walked the earth. It's part of man's inhumanity to man. There's a resolve in those children, much like their grandfathers that we see buried around here. They want to know. And now they have these things called computers. These babies start plugging in these things, and these teachers can't get away with that stuff they used to get away with about, you know, our ancestors were demonic. I am so very, very proud of my heritage and my ancestry. God, in his infinite wisdom, could have sent my grandmama someplace else as a slave, but he sent her to the greatest country. He sent her to the Southland of America. If it hadn't been for that white master said, come in here, sit down, John. They burned out all our property. Our money is no good. All the animals are gone. But we family. Let's work together to make this thing survive and work again. And they did. And they did.
To find out more, call 1-800-MY-SOUTH or visit us on the web.